tree. There's the 420s.
Your answers belong to me.
A new one every week. Beautiful Huracan Rana from Gabriel. And there's the unholy wrestling. You're gonna die, AJ Styles. How does that feel? Oh, yeah.
You are here at the nation's #1 pro wrestling alternative. It is NWA Wildside. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Stephen Prazak along with Dan the Dragon Wilson. Last week's show, I think, was the biggest powerhouse show we've done in a long, long time. And a momentous one it was, too. The Lost Boys lost the Wildside Tag Team title in an amazing 4-way tag team match. The new Wildside Tag Team champions, the Briscoe Brothers, Jay and Mark, in from Ring of Honor. We love these guys. They're one of the most amazing tag teams to ever come down the pike. And what an amazing match that was. More momentous news. The main event last week was supposed to be All That Adam Jacobs taking on John Phoenix. All That Adam Jacobs, no está en casa. What's going on with that? Any idea? We don't know. David Young filled in for All That Adam Jacobs. The Wildside Championship Committee deemed it a championship match. End result, the Messiah of the Spinebuster, David Young, is the new Wildside Heavyweight Champ.
Also on the card tonight, fans, the Briscoe Brothers return in their first title defense, and in an NWA X Division matchup, AJ Styles returns to Wildside Television to take on Sonny Siaki of the Flying Elvises.
NWA presents TNA, total non-stop action, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on pay-per-view.
Now that's what I'm talking about! Great action!
To defend their newly won Wildside Tag Team titles, and Future Shock, they better, I know that they normally always say they bring their so-called A game with them wherever they go. But their attack is often very pompous, very selfish, not even realizing what exactly they are trying to accomplish sometimes. They have their heads rectally inserted so often that often it comes out back and bites them on the butt. They can afford that in a match with so much on the line, nothing less than the Wildside Tag Team titles.
Mark and Jay Briscoe came down here to NWA Wildside in Georgia with a hell of a nationwide reputation, but a lot of people have come to Wildside with reputation and not delivered. Mark and Jay did just that. They got involved into a feud with TNT, in which they got involved with the Lost Boys, and in a 4-way dance involving the SATs, Mark and Jay shocked the world as they became the new Wildside Tag Team Champions. The fans love them, and their ability is just, their reasons are just, and they are one hell of Wildside Tag Team Championship combination.
The Briscoe Brothers, I dare say, they're peerless. There's no other team that I can compare them to one-on-one for the amount of talent and the amount of execution, the amount of incredible execution they show week after week. These guys have got it. That is the Briscoe Brothers.
Literally wonder kids. These two guys are so technically sound. They look like 10-year veterans, and they're 18 and 19 years of age. The Briscoe Brothers are two of the best technicians in the States, period. 18 and 19 years old. That's Jay Briscoe in the ring with Brandon P. Front chancery by P. Tagman into Mark Briscoe. Goes to work on the ribcage of Brandon P. and a forearm shot by the younger Briscoe. Suplex takeover. Here comes Mark Briscoe off the ropes. Drops a knee.
And a pin attempt from Mark Briscoe onto Brandon P. early on in this tag team title match this week on NWA Wildside.
Irish whip tag made into Jay Freeze, and that was a blind tag. I don't think Mark Briscoe realizes it. Freeze comes off the ropes, knee lift. Jay Freeze is in control of Mark Briscoe. Right hand in the corner, and he is pummeling the younger Briscoe brother. What a chop. But the Briscoe brothers both have a glutton for punishment. They love to take abuse because they can soak it up. Look at Mark Briscoe up and over there. Shugs Jay Freeze off. Freeze with a kip up, goes for a clothesline, dunk it. Between the legs goes Mark Briscoe. Overhead belly-to-belly suplex by Mark Briscoe.
Jay Freeze nearly landed on his head, which would have ended the match in no uncertain terms.
Tag made into Jay Briscoe. Side slam, leg drop combination. Old-fashioned slice and dice there. Not enough to get a 3 count.
And interestingly enough, Mark and Jay Briscoe are such complete professional wrestling athletes. They have mastered the art not only of tag team wrestling, but as singles competitors as well, having wrestled each other on a number of occasions, more recently at Freedom Fight 2002.
Yakuza kick by Jay Briscoe. Boot to the midsection. He hooks Jay Freeze in the air. Sit out, gourd buster. Tight cradle by Jay Briscoe, but Jay Freeze not ready to be pinned just yet.
And Brandon P. not too anxious to join the fray. Can't say I blame him.
Of course, TNT now have been deemed the newest #1 contenders to these Wildside Tag Team titles, and they're waiting in the wings next week here on Wildside. They're going to get the Wildside Tag Team champions, whether it be the Briscoe Brothers or Future Shock. Springboard clothesline by Brandon P.
There's a reason why they call those high-risk maneuvers, and P nearly slipped off that top rope. And now a blatant choke from Brandon P. onto the pro and Jay Briscoe. Frustration setting in early.
Back elbow. Well, as you said before, Future Shock have been accused of having their heads rectally inserted, and that's certainly the truth. These two young guys have a lot of talent. They got a hell of a lot of talent. But however, their biggest fault is that they get too confident in themselves, and they're not 10-year veterans. They've not been around the block. They've not been in the ring with every tag team. They've been in that there is to be in the ring with. The Future Shock are very, very young in this industry, and if their egos continue to ream out of control, then they're not going to be a success in tag team industry.
In all honesty, they're so talented. They're so good this early on in their career, but they have to be aware of their limitations. And once they are, in fact, frankly, the world could be theirs.
Dragon screw leg whip, and Jay Briscoe wisely attacking the knee. Mark Briscoe attacking the knee again. The Briscoe brothers going to work. Shades of some of the greatest tag teams we've ever seen. Shades of the Andersons going to work on that one body part and staying on it. The Briscoe brothers really attacked the knee there of Brandon P. Irish whip, leg lariat, spin wheel kick by Mark Briscoe.
Hit Brandon P. right on the mush. Only good enough for a 2 count.
Wait a minute. Mark Briscoe's going for the cutthroat suplex. This is a finishing maneuver. Brandon P. counters with a clothesline.
Brandon P. and perhaps Jay Freeze have been studying some Briscoe Brothers tapes, suffice to say.
Maybe Future Shock not as confident in themselves as they perceive to be. Jay Freeze now choking, taking a shortcut, the short road on Mark Briscoe.
However, that short road has won more than a few matches in the history of professional wrestling. Perhaps Future Shock believe their night is tonight as they wrestle for those Wildside Tag Team titles.
Big drop kick there by Jay Freeze, lateral press, but arrogance. Egotistic tactics like that. He did not hook the leg. Casual and nonchalant cover, and that's why Future Shock are not Wildside Tag Team champions.
But they're getting an opportunity here this evening, and it's better as one opportunity, and they better not squander. They may not ever see it again. To the surprise of absolutely no one, crowd firmly behind Mark Briscoe as he's getting handed it to them. In all honesty, Future Shock, their tag team, they're tagging in and out very quickly. Another Anderson Brothers maneuver.
Big vertical suplex by Brandon P.
and taking Jay Briscoe off his perch in the process. Referee Speedy Nelson having his hands full of Jay Briscoe as Mark Briscoe continues getting it handed to them, and a pin attempt for Mark Briscoe, unbeknownst to the referee. Isn't that nice?
Jay Freeze going back to work on Mark Briscoe. Future Shock have cut the ring in half here, but Mark Briscoe still got a lot of fight left in him, trading chops with Jay Freeze.
Thunderous chops from Freeze. And a good old simple mule kick to the gut of Mark Briscoe. And the younger Briscoe Brothers not looking very tag team champion-like at the moment.
Tag team combination. Slingshot leg drop. Rolling senton by Future Shock.
Mark makes it to the ropes. Mark, the game champion that he is, trying to fight out of his predicament. So far, no go. Future Shock apparently, at the moment, have the number of Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe up and over. Rolls through on Jay Freeze. But Freeze sends him hard head first with a second turnbuckle. And he catches a super kick right to the side of the head.
And there's a super choke, which is only valid for a 4 or 5 count, but you can do an awful lot of damage in those 5 seconds.
Mark Briscoe ducks a clothesline. Another spinning heel kick takes down Jay Freeze.
Can Mark Briscoe make that tag to Jay Briscoe? Only a few feet away. Tag is made. Speedy Nelson did not see the tag being made. A clever maneuver. It's one of the old-time ones of tag team wrestling going back many years, but it's one that Future Shock have learned very well.
And the older protective brother, Jay Briscoe, irate that he made the tag and couldn't get in the ring due to Speedy Nelson's negligence.
In all honesty, Speedy Nelson can't have eyes in the back of his head. And that's a fact that Future Shock know quite well.
Mark Briscoe lands on the ring apron. Few shots there, springboard splash by Mark Briscoe. This is his opportunity here.
And a pair of tags, and in comes Jay Briscoe, and he's had it with the antics of Future Shock.
Jay Briscoe is a house of fire, and I mean that quite literally. What a drop kick by Jay Briscoe. High leg lariat onto Brandon P. Yakuza kick to Jay Freeze.
Hey, Jay Briscoe, one-man tag team himself.
Death Valley driver. Jay Freeze breaks up that pinfall at the last second.
Boy, no possible time remaining in that breakup. Now Jay Freeze trying to do a number. What? A cradle pile driver? No.
Mark Briscoe there for the save.
Looks like Speedy Nelson losing control of this match as all 4 competitors involved freely.
Waistlock there by Mark Briscoe. Jay Freeze trying to get out of it. Mark Briscoe hooks in. Fisherman's Buster.
Bad news if you're Jay Freeze. But Brandon P's in there in nick of time to pull out the legs of Jay Briscoe. Make that Mark Briscoe.
Irish whip by Brandon P. Mark Briscoe, that's a clothesline. Brandon P catches it. He's got him hanging upside down. They could be going for the aftershock. No, Mark Briscoe counters it with a Hurricane Rana. And Jay Freeze in there again to break it up. Tooth and nail, these two teams are going.
Future Shock, to their credit, I dare say they've got the focus now plain and simple on the Briscoe brothers.
Mark Briscoe and Jay Freeze on a double clothesline take a double header to the outside.
But Jay Briscoe is the legal man, and so's Brandon P. And that's not good news if you're Future Shock.
There's the Jay Driller!
Oh.
There's the Jay Driller!
And looks like Jay Freeze is in to successfully break up that pin.
And he's going. Oh, there's the icebreaker. The icebreaker onto Jay Briscoe by Jay Freeze. Irish whip by Mark Briscoe. He's going for that kid. He's going, wait a minute. He's got him. Cutthroat suplex. Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, and still, Wildside Tag Team Champions, the
It's our time now. I'm a former Wildside Tag Team Champion. And so are you. I'm psychotic. You're crazy. So let's do it together. Let's get on the psycho train, the crazy train, and ride. NWA Wildside. Tank, Wrenn, we're gonna turn it upside down. Tick, tick.
These two men are a tag team because they beat the piss out of each other and they liked it.
And I think there's more where that came from. Whatever Tank and Scottie Wrenn feel about each other, it may not be settled. I think tonight here this evening, in this tag team turmoil, I think they're of one mind. And if you're Swingers Incorporated, my friends, that's bad news.
Looks like Tank's going to be starting this matchup out. Tank can attack you from any aspect of the ring. He can reach into his little blue bag, pull out that sickle, and cut you ear to ear. He can take you, beat your arm over your head, stick your leg in your ass, and make you submit. Or he can just simply pick you up for the F-bomb, power you up, and drop you right on your skull.
And that just barely scratches the surface of what Tank can do. A Tank, a man of many gifts. And I think Swingers Incorporated are fully aware of what Tank and Scottie Wrenn bring to the table.
Exotic Michael Adrian starting this matchup out here for Swingers Incorporated. Right to the eye on Tank early. Slams Tank's head into the turnbuckle.
I think Tank likes it. That's how he scratches an itch.
Tank likes it. And he's giving Michael Adrian a taste of his own medicine down to the second turnbuckle and on the bottom turnbuckle.
Oh, the turnbuckle tour. Now that's a tour of a different kind.
Drop toe hold. And I don't think that's the way the Swingers want to swing.
I think Tank is driving the point home. A charging Tank into both Swingers. And these Swingers have swung. I hate that move. I just hate that move. Tank seems to enjoy it.
Tank is having a ball in here. And he's cracking skulls. Of course he's having a ball. Tag mate in the ticket time bomb, Scottie Wrenn. This man, a former Wildside heavyweight champion, two-time Wildside tag team champion, and one of the meanest, nastiest, and most psychotic individuals Wildside has ever seen.
Which means he's picture perfect for Wildside tag team material.
Of course, the other thing Tank and Scottie Wrenn have in common is they're both insane, legitimately.
That's just part of their charm, Dan.
Big clothesline by Scottie Wrenn. Down goes Vincent I. Paint. High into the air, Scottie Wrenn has it pressed. Into the air, big press slip by Scottie Wrenn. He's high in the air. He is high in the air. And VIP lands on his face.
Not high anymore. Scottie Wrenn and Tank having a good time with Swingers Incorporated tag team turmoil, and they continue on.
Swingers Incorporated have been eliminated.
You know, I think Scottie Wrenn and Tank are just getting warmed up.
Well, this is a turmoil match. There's more meat.
That's true.
Scott Cage, the Rage.
Now, this is a tag team that I don't believe Scottie Wrenn and Tank could really have anticipated.
Scott Cage, slingshot body press. Mike Pittman with a tope con hilo. But Scottie Wrenn quickly manhandling Mike Pittman, and Tank's not going to be muscled around by Scott Cage either. Scott Cage is down on the floor into the guardrail. Pittman's in the ring. Scottie Wrenn face flapjack there. Mafia kick by the sickle-wielding maniac. Scottie Wrenn throws the kick on to Mike Pittman.
Scottie Wrenn and Tank are going to their brawling tactics to hopefully take care of the Rage. So far, so good on that front.
Scottie Wrenn was going for the Scottie bomb. Psycho Scottie slam on Mike Pittman. The Rage have been eliminated.
Rage are a very powerful and potent tag team. But with Tank and Scottie Wrenn on fire like they're all here this evening, that's just too much for even the Rage to withstand.
Hey, Briscoe Brothers, great match with Future Shock tonight. Next week, you have TNT.
Yeah, you know, Future Shock, you put up one hell of a fight tonight. But once again, the Briscoe Brothers proved why we are the best tag team here at NWA Wildside.
And TNT, we already beat y'all boys twice. What in the hell makes you think you can beat us next week?
You know what? You know what, Mark? This time, we're fighting for something. We're fighting to keep these tag team titles, TNT. We beat you twice. Next week, it's just going to be one more.
And he earned that title. He's been here scraping and clawing from the bottom of the barrel to the very top here in Wildside over the past 3 years. Caprice Coleman has proven himself to be one of the most underrated, talented, charismatic, and overall astonishing athletes in Wildside history. Former Wildside Junior Heavyweight Champion, now the world's television champion, as he continues to elevate his game. The falls are tied up now at 1 apiece. Tony Mamaluke using that submission background in their last encounter. Got him in a front face chancery, sugar hold, locked it in. Caprice Coleman passed out and he tapped out. That was the end for Caprice Coleman. Caprice Coleman pinned Tony Mamaluke in match 1 with the thermal shock, his variation of the Ace Crusher, and the very maneuver that won him the World Television Championship. Collar and elbow tie up in the center of the ring.
And although Caprice Coleman's facial expressions may think that there's not a lot of respect for the Italian monster, Tony Mamaluke, I dare say Caprice Coleman respects Tony Mamaluke to the nth degree and treats him very seriously, despite the very affable attack and the way he presents himself in the ring. Caprice Coleman is, in fact, all business, and he better be this week here on Wildside.
Caprice Coleman trying to bridge up and out. Hammerlock by the World Television Champion, counter by Tony Mamaluke. Fireman's carry takeover, roll through into a bridging pinning combination. Roll through by Mamaluke, 2 count only. Coleman ducks a clothesline, full Nelson. Mamaluke ducks under, catches him in another pinning combination. Caprice Coleman now trying to pin Mamaluke, 2 count. There's another, Coleman's on top. Mamaluke rolls a shoulder.
In addition to Caprice Coleman and Tony Mamaluke being on their game here this evening, I sure hope Andrew Thomas is too. These pins are coming quick and fast and furious.
Mamaluke bridges up, looked like he was going for a backslide. Flipped Caprice Coleman over. Coleman a little stunned and a little shocked by the expertise and the experience of Tony Mamaluke.
And Mamaluke's kind of amazed that Caprice Coleman was able to withstand that incredible sequence of maneuvers that Mamaluke did on the World TV Champion Caprice Coleman.
Mamaluke goes for a double axe handle. Coleman ducks out of the way. Gorilla Incarnalia.
And that last one set Tony Mamaluke sailing over that top turnbuckle. That's a lot of power in the fists of the World TV Champ Caprice Coleman.
We know he's got that amateur boxing background. He's a former North Carolina State Golden Glove champion. Springboard drop kick, sending Tony Mamaluke to the outside and hard.
And Andrew Thomas was nearly in the way of that.
He should have just kicked him right in the face. Caprice Coleman, look at the ups. Springboard splash to the outside.
Mamaluke, I think he could probably possibly see that coming, but he was still dazed from those fisticuffs early on in this matchup. But Coleman, as he came down, I think perhaps that right ankle or perhaps even the right knee went through some damage in the process.
We know Coleman is favoring a region on his right leg. That's all we know. Rolling Mamaluke back into the ring.
I tell you, if Coleman's right leg is giving him some problems, and Mamaluke senses it, that's a big in for the Italian monster.
Coleman goes for a slingshot senton. Mamaluke gets out of the way there and takes him down with a drop toe hold onto the bottom rope. Sicilian slice to the back of the head of Caprice Coleman. And Tony Mamaluke with a slingshot splash of his own. Hooked the leg hard. Caprice Coleman kicks out.
Hey, you know, we call them ropes, but in all honesty, they're cables, all right? Ain't nothing particularly friendly about him. And ain't nothing particularly friendly about Tony Mamaluke. One of the most bitter guys I've ever seen.
High angle back suplex by Tony Mamaluke. And Coleman manages to kick out. What a testament and a credit to the World Television Champion.
Boy, Mamaluke had all the arms and legs all tied up, and Coleman still kicked out. There's a reason why Coleman is World TV Champ. We're seeing some of that here this evening. Taking a lot of punishment from Mamaluke here this week on Wildside.
There's a reversal by Coleman. Spin scissors kick by the World TV Champion. The Iceman has come it.
And Mamaluke has been knocked goofy. Even goofier than he normally is. And that's pretty damn goofy. The crowd sitting in sort of stunned, hushed silence, just watching these two athletes bring their A game here this week. Oh, dear.
Well, Caprice Coleman just knocked her handheld camera. Wow, it's still in focus. I'm amazed.
We need a drop kick to do that.
Cobra clutch by Tony Mamaluke. The old Shinanomaki. And he's got him now. And a Cobra clutch, camel clutch combination.
By stopping the blood flow to the brain, Caprice Coleman gets running the risk of being blacked out. Luckily, he makes the ropes in time. And I'm sure that Tony Mamaluke will be realizing at this moment he needs to do a lot of these moves in the middle of the ring, keep Coleman away from those ropes. The ropes, in many ways, are Caprice Coleman's best friend.
Tony Mamaluke has it. Hangman's neck breaker. Coleman kicks out again.
Coleman wants nothing more than to have one up on Tony Mamaluke. Mamaluke wants likewise on the World TV Champ Caprice Coleman. And it's a rare chin lock. My friends, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more of this matchup right after this. Hang with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. You are watching the World Television Championship Best of 5 Series. Falls are tied at 1-1. This is match number 3. Tony Mamaluke and the World Television Champion, Caprice Ice Coleman. There's a gourd buster by Mamaluke. And he's got Coleman cinched in again. And this is a very similar maneuver. Coleman kicks out. That was a very similar maneuver to the maneuver that Mamaluke won the match with in match number 2.
No meaning to rain on Mamaluke's parade, but the way he had that Caprice Coleman all wrapped up, the mouth of Caprice Coleman was covered up that Andrew Thomas couldn't hear if Coleman was even able to concede.
Big right hand by Tony Mamaluke. Irish whip. Coleman ducks under the boot there. He's got him, nails him there. Well, that reverse sit-out base slam. Caprice Coleman, same time, catches himself. Asai moonsault. Tony Mamaluke kicks out.
Mamaluke has seen that sequence from Caprice Coleman, so perhaps mentally he was able to deal with it. You have to dig down deep in order to deal with Caprice Coleman. He is one of the most clever and talented guys in a very talented dressing room here. Oh, speaking of clever, Mamaluke hung on to that top rope, thwarting the attempt of Caprice Coleman to take Mamaluke out.
Well, Coleman was going for the thermal shock there, and if he would have connected, the match would have been over. Tony Mamaluke very wise in grabbing for that top rope. Falcon Arrow by Caprice Coleman.
If Coleman was only able to cover Mamaluke at the second he hit that move, he would be one up on Tony Mamaluke in this series of matches for Coleman's World TV Champ. Instead, Coleman is going up to the turnbuckle, and I don't think that's a wise maneuver at all.
Coleman's perched high atop, but he gets crotched by the Italian monster.
Coleman spent way too much time to get up top there.
Big palm strike there by Mamaluke. We can't forget that Mamaluke, the former ECW World Tag Team Champion.
And he'll remind you about it whenever he can.
He knows how to get to goal. Superplex, both men from the top rope. What a maneuver, but Mamaluke rolls through, and there's the sugar hold once again The Malenko background coming into effect. That sugar hold that won in match number 2. And Coleman is rolling through all the way on top, but the sugar hold may be too much. It's beaten him once. The sugar hold has beaten Coleman once. Can it defeat him again?
Coleman is fighting his way to the ropes. He is fighting his way to the ropes. Mamaluke wants none of it, and he is fighting back, maneuvering Coleman towards the middle of the ring, and that is bad news for the World TV Champ. Coleman nearly tapped. He nearly tapped.
Well, last time Caprice Coleman didn't hang in there this long. Coleman is fighting it with every ounce of fervor and tenacity he's got.
The World TV Champ is gutting out this sugar hold.
But the experience in the background of Tony Mamaluke may be just too much for Caprice Coleman.
Coleman is running the risk of blacking out. Oh, I think he's already out, Dan.
Caprice Coleman, there's 2.
Yeah.
And this sugar hold won match number 2. And it, wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute, Caprice Coleman. Oh, he almost fought it, but he choked him out. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of match number 3, going ahead in the best of 5 series 2-1, the Italian monster, Tony Mamaluke.
AJ Styles was also the inaugural ex-champion, and in many ways he is setting the wrestling world alight, in addition to what Wildside, but literally all over North America, with his stellar appearances on NWA TNA every Wednesday night on pay-per-view. And he's an athlete of which I have never seen anyone else like him. One of a kind in every respect.
Absolutely, Steven. AJ Styles, a former Wildside heavyweight champion, former NWA X Division champion, former NWA World Tag Team champion, former Wildside World Television champion. He's literally done it all in the course of the National Wrestling Alliance. Reversal. Leapfrog. Up and over goes Sonny Siaki. Big drop kick by AJ Styles. He comes over full rotation, and Sonny Siaki doesn't know what to make of.
Powerful drop kick. Plunging his feet into the chest of Sonny Siaki. And Siaki's trying to gather his wits. Sonny Siaki is all very familiar with the power and the gifts that AJ Styles brings to the ring. And Siaki wants the show to be his show, not AJ Styles. And being able to thwart Styles in the attempt, yeah, that's one of the tallest orders in pro wrestling in 2002.
Big right hand by Sonny Siaki. And another. And Sonny Siaki certainly has an ego on him. And we've seen that on NWA TNA pay-per-views, as he's totally forgotten about the other members of his Flying Elvis clique.
Yeah, the only king he talks about is himself. Whoa, good lord.
Siaki goes for a German suplex. Styles land on his feet. Spinning kick to the face by Styles. 2 count only.
AJ Styles much in demand literally all over North America, as well as calls to be appearing in Japan. But everybody wants AJ Styles, and we got him this week here on Wildside.
Sonny Siaki throws AJ Styles up in the air, catches him in a Samoan drop. Beautiful maneuver.
I mean, Siaki does have some of that Samoan heritage in his bloodline. And you can't actually consider Sonny Siaki one of your, for lack of a better term, a gimmick performer. The man is a very powerful and potent and dangerous professional wrestler. AJ Styles is aware of this. If he wasn't before he started, he sure is now.
Hot shot on the top rope. There's shades of the late great hot stuff Eddie Gilbert.
I missed that guy.
As AJ Styles goes larynx first on the top rope. Sonny Siaki, he knows how to get it done. He was trained professionally by the one and only American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Meaning that Siaki's looking forward to going to the pay window here tonight.
Well, he hopes he can go to the pay window in this X Division matchup, sanctioned by the National Wrestling Alliance. We're proud here at Wildside to be able to put this match on, and AJ Styles return to his home, NWA Wildside. Wait a minute, Siaki goes for a Hurricane Rana. Styles going for the Styles Clash. Head scissor takeover counter by Siaki.
Siaki has seen more of his share of Styles clashes on those NWA TNA shows, and he wants none of it. Oh, good lord.
Pump handle suplex by Sonny Siaki.
And very Exploder-esque.
And Styles is down and really in a bad way.
It seems to be a lot of the wind taken out of the sails of Sonny Siaki, but Siaki's on top of Styles for a pin attempt. Styles gets a leg on that bottom rope, ending the count at 2. Siaki's now going for a plain and simple foot to the throat. I think Siaki is believing he has to go to that plan B, and he wasn't anticipating that at this juncture.
Snap suplex by Sonny Siaki. Only a 2. Siaki is now in control of AJ Styles.
A powerful, powerful man. That is Sonny Siaki. And he functions much, much better on a one-on-one basis. I can understand maybe his reticence to be involved with other tag team partners. Flying Elvis is notwithstanding. Would that be Flying Elvi, actually? Whoa, good one. A major foot to the face, courtesy of AJ Styles. And Sonny Siaki is stopped square in his tracks by the phenomenal AJ.
Oh, Styles gets caught and powerbombed with one leg. And that, my friend, looked painful.
Hard on the back, hard on the rib cage. And Siaki used all of his power to pull that off. And the phenomenal AJ Styles is not feeling too phenomenal at the moment. The crowd quite obviously behind their hometown hero, AJ Styles. Your main event this week here on NWA Wildside, and we're proud to bring it to you.
Sonny Siaki, the leader of the Flying Elvises, or Elvi if you want to be a geek about it.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Oh, good night.
Got to get my shots in on you, Steve. Drop toe hold. Siaki cinch Styles going throat first onto the top rope and the middle rope. Painful combination.
Yeah, damn straight. Styles draped over that second rope. And Siaki drapes it over that second rope again for good measure. But Siaki's moving very slowly here, instead of zooming in for the kill, which is a bad move if your opponent is any one of the stellar athletes here at Wildside. But it's AJ Styles. Good heavens.
Sonny Siaki's punches look like they punched through a brick wall.
Yeah.
Styles ducks a clothesline. What a clothesline of his own neck. AJ Styles delivers.
Don't often see AJ Styles do an old-fashioned clothesline, but he can pull them off with the best of them. And many people think that AJ Styles is, in fact, the best of them. I'm one of them.
AJ Styles takes Siaki's head off with that one. And he sets him up.
Styles is heading up top turnbuckle. Do it quickly, my man.
Styles going for the spiral tap. Nobody home.
AJ Styles lands on nothing but ring. Siaki rolls out of the way. But is Siaki in any shape to do any more damage as he gathers his wits and perhaps gets some breath into those lungs? AJ Styles is more than a handful for anybody. We know about the power of Sonny Siaki, but he's going to need all that and more to take AJ Styles down. Perhaps tonight is Siaki's night.
Kick to the midsection by Siaki. Styles ducks a clothesline. Stiff kick to the midsection. Punch to the head. And another. Styles firing away on Sonny Siaki. Goes for an enziguri. Nobody home. Reverse enziguri. And AJ Styles tags Siaki with that one.
Clocked him right across the ear, and doing a number on the balance of Siaki. Ooh, mercy! A powerful right hand in the face of AJ Styles, taking the wind out of his sails in the process, like it would anyone.
Sonny Siaki coming off the ropes here. Sunset flip. Styles in a pinning combination. Styles, whoa! Styles has it. Up in the air. There's the Styles clash.
Siaki's so tall, it's hard to pull that off, but AJ Styles did just that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, AJ Styles.